We are depending increasingly on the browser, on our mobile phones, on our laptops or netbooks, whatever, to access content. And it's a matter of fact that we defaulted to the fonts developed by Microsoft 20 years ago. And these fonts in Arabic, and I think most of us agree, when you browse a website in English, it's very readable, it's nice on the eye, everything is cool. When you move into Arabic, they use either simplified Arabic or Tahoma, and both read really badly. And they are even worse when you print them out. So this is a very big problem, and we need research into how we can present Arabic content in a readable and usable way. HTML5 holds huge promise in that, in the fact that it can actually download fonts from the web that you do not have on your system. But then we need open access fonts. I know that there has been some fonts developed by Caxt a few years ago, but they were mainly developed not for the web, but for GNU Linux, the operating system, and its X Windows interfaces. So they are a little bit geeky, I would say, compared to what we really need for the masses, for everyone, someone who doesn't understand English at all, to look. And I heard that from our friends who didn't speak Arabic, that the Arabic language is beautiful when you see it on the signs and on the books and things. So the language in itself is really beautiful. What we need to do is to fund some work, some people to come, and not only technicians, not only geeks. We need calligraphers, we need artists to come together, usability experts, user experience designers, to come together and work. And the only way I can see this happening is by public fundings of some sort, because that's something that concerns every single Arabic speaker. And if any commercial entity would be doing that, then we would be certain that they would be locked away. And for those of us who try to print PDF files, if you want to send an Arabic PDF file that you created to another user who doesn't have Windows, well, Windows doesn't allow you to embed the widely used fonts into the document. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I can share the Indian case, which probably is the worst case in some sense in this regard. Yes. Yeah, in the sense, yes. Right. I mean, the point is that, that is actually public funding is done. As Anna is saying, India, because politically there is sensitivity on it, public money is spent in developing language tools and resources, right? But then government holds it to itself, right? It thinks it'll make money out of that. Which of course nobody makes money in India out of language tools and resources, because the people who have money are doing well with English. So the government goes half the way and say, okay, I'm willing to invest in developing technologies for language, but having done that, it wouldn't release into the public. At best, it will sell 1 million CDs of executables. Now that runs away, and the point is that what should be done, is the government should fund it, but then make it as open source communities development. It should fund the communities to develop them. There are a large number of people in India who are willing to develop language tools, provided they, in the open source mode, provided it's funded. Now, government thinks that it says, okay, if we make it open, Microsoft will steal it from us. So then they will make money. It's a kind of dog in the manger kind of stuff. The point is that it's a very in a way, solution is very simple. There are lots of people who have the capabilities to do that. Government is willing to fund it. But what is missing is it should be done in an open source mode so that it can be sustained, developed, and further and so on. It's not happening. But it might just happen, I think. I will go and report that there was a unanimous feeling here that all language development funded by government should be open source. Thank you.
Just want to share, because I've been part of this whole debate in Indian languages, a startling example of how Indian government has actually messed up this whole issue of computing in Indian languages. They have funded projects, government projects, given to professors in universities and things like that. Developed standards. They actually developed standard called ISKI. Just like ASCII, they have developed ISKI, Indian Standard Computing Code. Now, what they've done is the development was successful, the implementations were successful, but what they were not successful is making that as a policy, that all the vendors in India should use ISKI. You know, it happened for English language, for example. Every vendor used ASCII for their Indian languages. So independent of which application produced the English, it didn't matter. Everybody could read it. Now, that is one of the mistakes. The second mistake that was done was really even more startling. There is this company called CDAC. I mean, today it's called CDAC. At one time, this particular thing is called NCST. It is in Mumbai. Now, that has a lot of interesting computer scientists. Now, they have developed an Indian language solution. Now, that particular solution has been purchased by Microsoft. And now what's happening today? Microsoft is selling back Indian people that solution. And now CDAC is also a public limited company in that sense. I mean, in fact, when it happened, it wasn't even part of CDAC. It was part of a NCST, which is actually comes under Ministry of Information Technology at that time, which essentially means that though Microsoft did give some compensation, but then you can imagine they're selling it back to millions of people, which actually means essentially that there was no way how they could actually plug this possibility. A government company creating a solution for a company, and then that company is again, you know, selling it back. This happened only in the past in the East India Company, in the past, but not after independence. I mean, this is just an example of how, you know, they messed it up completely about Indian language solutions. So they have to impose. Now, currently, the Indian government is now, eyes are open. Now, they have made Unicode mandatory. And in fact, that's the reason why now we have, in almost all Indian languages, GNU Linux solutions being used, and of course, the same thing is being used by the other operating systems as well. So I think unless this standardization is, imposed by the governments, and that's why the government exists, right? I mean, we have to make sure that that is taken care.
Okay. If I could, real quick.
We have to conclude, Dave.
I'm sorry?
We have to conclude. We are running out of time.
Okay. I was just going to add real quick that I think a good solution to that and others is, by default, if the government develops it, the people should get it. Release is open source. Otherwise, all sorts of crazy stories like that can happen.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we have to conclude. The final word from the organizer, Dr. Abdurrahman. Thank you.
We come to the end of the second day. Thank you all for coming. Excellent discussion. And tomorrow, the third day of the workshop, which is the last day of the workshop, and we have a couple, almost 4 tutorials, plus a couple of presentations too. And I hope you will enjoy it. Thank you all. And we have the lunch right now, and after that we will see you tomorrow. Thank you.